Morning, everyone. I see my camera's not working quite right yet. Let's see about that. There we go. Hello, Thunder Dust. Afternoon to you. Good morning to me on the West Coast. A nice early 8 a.m. stream. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. We had a little bit of fun with this King of the Castle just a few weeks ago. I think it was exactly 2 weeks ago. And we're continuing it on. Cyblade is saying hi from Twitch instead of YouTube. Yes, that is going to be a trend today. So welcome to Twitch instead of YouTube where you normally are. This game is interactive with our live chat, but only through Twitch and not through YouTube. So you can enjoy it on YouTube. You can watch and follow along, but if you would like to interact in the story and have your own character and your own noble, definitely head on over to Twitch where you can join the festivities. Ebel Kitty Rainstar says, I was watching Mean Girls. I have to finish it before the 4th because it's about to leave Netflix. So are you watching the original Mean Girls or are you watching the Mean Girls musical remake? Because I love Mean Girls, the original. I've seen it at least 6 or 7 times over the course of my life, but I haven't seen the musical one yet. I watched all of Mean Girls, and then the same day I started the musical, and I got like 5 minutes in, and I realized it was like just the same story told in musical form. So I have not finished it, but it's on my list. So if that's leaving on the 4th, I got something to do as well. The OG one, okay. That's what I like to hear. Hello, Amanda. So we'll just give a little bit of time for people to filter in. If you have no idea what this game is called King of the Castle. It is a sort of interactive story game where I will be the king and assume the throne. And I have to like try to wrangle my 3 kingdoms from trying to overthrow me while, you know, accomplishing my goal as a monarch. Each of you will take the place of a noble within the kingdoms, and then you will basically be able to join one of those kingdoms. Now, if you were here for the first part of the story, which was 2 weeks ago, you should be reassigned to the same kingdom you were and the same person, so your story exactly continues. And if you're new for this stream, then you will instead join one of the random factions. All right, I have until past the 4th to watch the musical, so problem solved. This game is free to play. You can interact through Twitch chat directly, so you're gonna type your choices directly into Twitch chat, and then you will be able to vote on things and make decisions for your faction. Each faction is attempting to execute some sort of conspiracy to put their own person on the throne, while the king is trying to stay on the throne and not let any of the individual kingdoms get so strong to threaten his reign. Unless I was kidnapped and died, I mean, Courtney, I suppose it's possible. Last session as the king, I don't remember if I survived or if I was dead at the end, but I was definitely off the throne. I think I rotted away in a dungeon, the same dungeon that I used for my own nefarious purposes during my reign. So that's fun. So I have the Twitch chat extension enabled, so you should see an overlay in the game. If you're watching from desktop, I don't think it works on mobile, but that will allow you to sort of track which faction you're in, faction goals, your money, things like that. We are going to do, for the first time, we're going to continue our reign. So King Evil Steve of the Grimm Dynasty was deposed in their last story, and the chiefs of the North, through their rebellion, rose up and put their own new king on the throne, King Asgal, who is ready to take over where our story last left and see what's going to happen. And so today I will be assuming the throne of King Asgal while you guys I've actually never done a continuation before, so this is the first time. So this is the part where if you would like to join and rejoin the game, hit !join in Twitch chat to get assigned to one of these nobles, one of these kingdoms as a noble, and we will figure out what's going on. You can use your pronouns like join she, join he, join they, if you'd like to set your in-game pronouns. If you are somebody who owns the game, which you'll notice people that have this little the ruler next to their name on the banner, they own the game. And so when you own the game, A, you get to customize exactly how your character looks, and B, you get to choose which faction you're actually in. If you don't own the game, it's fine. You don't have to own the game, but you do have to get assigned to a random faction. I'm going to move myself over just for a minute so we can see, so you guys can see your names. Also, I can already tell that we are continuing our story, because if you see Courtney, Courtney the second, because Courtney the first died in our first reign, so Courtney the second is still sticking around, so that's funny. Cyblade said, how do I join the counts? If you are, so yeah, so I see Cyblade here, you have, you do own the game. I think you would just do join counts. Like you would put, like Fact just did, right? You could put you join your pronoun and then which of the factions you'd like to join. So you probably put counts. I don't actually know. We're figuring it out, but I still see you as a North, even though I do see you typed join counts he. Does it have to go in a certain order? Maybe the team goes at the end. I don't know if it's possible to change factions once you're in there. Courtney, if there's any possibility, actually for now, I'm just going to, time out the Groomy bot. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Courtney. Kai, welcome to the Twitch chat as well. All these YouTubers over on the Twitch side today. That's fun. First time chat from Kai, even though you're chatting all the time on the YouTube side. Thanks, Courtney. Yeah, for now, I just timed out the bot for 5 minutes, I think. So for 5 minutes, we shouldn't get the bot. Yeah, Rock and Roll says you got to put the pronoun before the roll. So in this case, you would do like join he counts, and that should work for you, Cyblade. Well, I see it there, and it's not moving you. Huh? Is there any? There's no direction on my side, right? When I'm talking about like how to join, it doesn't give me any tips to how to get you guys on the right team, but I see it working for a lot of people. What if you just try join counts on its own and see if it moves you, or like if it's possible to like switch, if you're looking to switch. You did that already and it didn't work. Maybe an auto balance, but I feel like it should be able to override it with your premium level. Now, don't worry if well, I guess it doesn't really matter, but there is a way to sort of. It's not like once we start the game, nobody else can join. They'll be able to join in as we go. To give you guys a little recap on what happened last time, the Chiefs of the North put King Asgol on the throne, which is weird because I already married somebody from the North. So my husband at the time was already a Northern puppet. And then they like forced me off the throne and did not really want my husband to be the one that was sticking around. So they deposed them as well. Like him and me were both off, and then they put a third North. So the North is like really, today's role play is like essentially the northern people are gonna get their comeuppance, right? Thack with a 40 stream streak. Amanda says I made them very angry, really angry, but like, did I? What did I do? I tried everything I could to appease the North. I don't remember doing anything specific anger, like to upset them. Anything that happened to the North happened as a result of the nobles' votes. But of course, as the king, I was taken out. It was my responsibility, right? But yeah, 40 stream streak fact. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, I'm sorry, Sai. I don't know why we're not able to figure out how to get it to switch. See if I can Google it real quick. King of the Castle joins specific team. It might be. It might be once you've joined a team, you can't switch, even if the game hasn't started yet. That would be my only thing that maybe, unfortunately, happened there, Sideblade. All right. I think it's going to be time to get rolling, at least for the time being. I expect more people will join as it goes on. Oh, that's a good point. Were you already on the Chiefs in the first segment, in the first game? Because this is continuing the game, right? So if you were already on one of the teams in the first one, I guess you're reassigned to that one again, even if you have premium, though. If you didn't play the, yeah, Cyber was on YouTube, so that doesn't make sense. I think you just joined without putting a faction at the start, and it just probably locks you in. Welcome, Lars. Okay, so once again, we are about to start. The story takes somewhere between 2 to 2.5 hours, depending on how fast you were able to kill me. So I don't want to, like... Yeah, exactly. You might as well do it while you're sitting at the airport. Just overthrow a king, just casually in the morning. Okay. Let me just put a message on Discord that we are live. Perfect. All right. It says the host can drag names. Is that true? Let me see. So I can definitely do this. It doesn't look like it'll let me, like, I can hover over Sideblade. I can see each one of you and what your characters look like. But it doesn't look like it lets me. I think the host might be able to drag names in the party mode, not the Twitch mode, because like there's a party mode as well where you're playing locally. 2 hours. Well, let's see if we can get this done for you. All right, I'm gonna begin this game. Remember, you can keep joining. We've never done a story continuation before. We've always started from scratch, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with the story continuation. So. We'll start with what we always do, the council introduction. All right, Chief Fact says, "You did it. You seized the throne. We showed them what the chiefs could do, didn't we? Now, just remember which side of your bread is buttered. You answer to us. Got it?" So, I am a good little northern boy, and I'm going to lean into the long live the North, because, right, I feel like I'd have a little partiality to the North. Ha, that's the spirit. Now introduce yourself to the rest of the council, but don't forget what I told you today. I don't know what my accent is, by the way. All right, let's go talk to the Counts of the East. It's Courtney the Second. It's an honor to finally make your acquaintance, Your Highness. May you escape the doom that befell your predecessor. Ominous there, Courtney. Lady Patrician Banjoka Zelda. That's a name. That's a mouthful. A pleasure, Your Serene Highness. I hope to see our kingdom prosper and grow wealthy under your reign. If I remember right, the patricians actually had a chance to intercept the North, like the chiefs, and stepped back and chose to let it happen, right? Did not save the kingdom. So maybe there's a little bit of an ally there. All right, the council immediately fills with raised voices. Meanwhile, what do you think? Will he be a good... Oh, that's Super Anago, by the way, from the North. Will he be a good little king and do as he's told? It's too early to tell. We should have a backup plan just in case. Okay. Everyone has their own, what do you call it? Their own goals, but we'll get to those in a minute. I think it's time for a coronation. I just got an achievement for continuing my dynasty for the first time. All right, Chancellor. Your Majesty, you may have won the throne from King Medieval Steve, but you must still answer to the council. As is tradition, they will decide what happens at your coronation. What? But it's my coronation, or let's get this over with, or should I get changed into my waterproof robes then? Which is probably what's going to happen. It may be for the best, Your Majesty. Shall we call the nobles in? All right, first time vote. Oh, it's actually a little different. This is interesting. Okay, so first time vote. There's 4 choices. You can hit vote A, vote B, vote C, vote D. Once I start the vote. We can do a pagan northern ceremony. We can force the commoners to swear a blood oath. We can throw the king into the river, or we can bear the king through the streets atop a shield. It's okay. I haven't opened the vote yet, but you can easily do it. I'm not gonna veto this. I'm not going to get an extra vote. I'm just gonna let you guys choose. Type vote A, B, C, D. Honestly, I think we need a pagan northern ceremony. We need to bring our kingdom back to its roots. No, don't throw me in the river. Don't throw me in the river. Why are you guys always... Yeah, it is tradition. Why is it always so traditional to throw the king in the river? All right. 9 nobles voted to throw the king in the river. It is decided. The king will be thrown into the river. Our stability goes up, but my authority goes down. That's fine. And so it begins. Well, Amanda, we didn't throw a king in the river last time, and look what happened to our kingdom. We stepped away from tradition because King Medieval Steve was a pompous buffoon that like really just put his own needs before the kingdom's. The nobles pick you up and carry you out to Treadwater River, hurling you into the shallow water with a cheer. When you climb back up the bank, soaking wet, your chancellor steps forward and places the crown upon your head. Is it your imagination, or are some of the nobles stifling giggles? I did veto the option, yeah. All right. We're going to do the path to victory. But before I do, I have a small proclamation to make here at my coronation ceremony. Thank you, nobles from far and wide, for coming to King Asgal's coronation ceremony. I do enjoy a return to tradition and being thrown into the river. It is, of course, a great tradition that stems back to our grandfathers. And though I do not pretend to understand the logic behind it, I am opening myself up as your king. You see, our kingdom has strayed for far too long from tradition, and what we know in our hearts is right. If you look at our forefather, King Medieval Steve was more interested in fornicating with fish than in meeting with his small council and making sure that the kingdom ran smoothly. I vow to never fall for a foreigner from another land, especially not one with fishy parts down below. I pledge that our kingdom will reach a new stability, one cornerstoned by the faith of the North. And I know I have many detractors out there that are very worried that because I come from the North, that I will favor the North in the upcoming seasons. And I want to put all of that to rest. That is not the case. I yearn for nothing more than a stable kingdom built on the cornerstone of the Northern ideals. And I know that through my fairness, the North shall spread its ideals to the Southern and Eastern regions, and we shall all return to a time of prosperity and faith, and together reach new heights never before seen in the Grimm dynasty. That being said, Your Majesty, the history books do not look kindly upon usurpers, unless, of course, they prove themselves worthy of the throne they have stolen. When you die, how do you hope the kingdom will remember you? So I got military peacekeeper, father, greatest king who ever lived, the architect of a new golden age, and as a saint. I think because the faith thing feels tied to like the new faith and not the old faith, I feel like that makes the wrong sense for Asgard. But I think my goal is very simple: stability as a peacekeeper. We just got over a civil war. Stability is my goal. An admirable, this is by, of course, right? This is our spy bluffing as the Raven Keeper. That's why the spy master has a raven on their hand. Probably a falcon, but I suggest over the next few years, you focus on improving the king's stability as much as possible. Plus, I already know you threw me in the river, so stability's up. So I kind of cheated. Long live the North indeed, Zarl. Once you have an heir, I will return to discuss how your ambition is progressing. Yeah. Oh, a falcon. It might be a falcon, Kai. All right, we can end the season now. All right, Zamul of the Talon Sarn dynasty, charismatic reformed cultist, leans delicately on a podium speaking in a melodious voice. My fellow counts, in ancient times, the East was its own proud kingdom. We can bring back those days of glory, but not while this false King Asgal wears the crown. All right, this is only for the counts. If you're in the counts of the East, which is these in the middle, you can vote to, what's your goal? Are you going to go with the sorcery plan by raising authority? Are you going to go with the doppelganger plan again by lowering your defiance? Are you going to go for an uprising by raising the treasury? This is only for the counts. So Courtney, Albiddy Kitty, Kai, Talon, Newts, Rock and Rolla, and Mixicotl. And unfortunately, Cyblade, you didn't quite get to make it into this one. There are 7. So we got 7 possible votes. We got 3 and 3 tied. I think we're waiting on the one tiebreaker vote, which looks like, there it is. There's the tiebreaker. We're pivoting our plan away from doppelganger, which didn't work last time. It actually almost worked. And we're going with sorcery. All right. The counts plan to make a bargain with the wizard. Those silly wizards. By the way, I paid a wizard last time to come solve a tree problem, and he never did. I hope that's a story thread that still follows. These immortal spellcasters seldom get involved in political squabbles, but perhaps if the king was considered a threat to their autonomy, to advance their scheme, the counts must raise their authority to 5 or more in 2 seasons. Well, you started off on the wrong foot by throwing me in the river. I'll tell you that much. All right, let's go to the south, the patricians. Alex of the Inicio family, well-known coastal tycoon, scribbles with a well-used quill on a hardwood desk, speaking calmly. Now, fellow patricians of the coast, my claim to the throne is far more legitimate than that of King Asgol. Something must be done. So this is for our patricians. How would you guys like to attempt to overthrow the throne? You can either vote A for subterfuge to lower the stability. You can do B for conspiracy to lower the treasury, or we can go with C, corruption, to lower authority. Keep in mind that currently the counts are trying to raise authority. If you vote to lower authority, you are in direct opposition with the count's goals. May or may not be fine. We got a total of 7 votes that can come in. We got a 2-2-1 split currently. 2-2-2. Okay, there we go. 2-3-2. Right there at the end with the tiebreaker vote, Fauxship Bracelet is doing conspiracy to lower the treasury. That's all the votes that we can get. Very close one. So this is Random Brain, Amanda, and Fauxship who voted for this. The patricians plan to sink the king under an ocean of debt. To advance their schemes, the patricians must lower the treasury to 1,500, which it currently is, or less in 3 seasons. Okay, you guys got to bankrupt. You guys got to keep our funds low. All right, Gunhild of the Chaos Chaya clan, charismatic political mastermind, stands precariously on a log house crossbeam, spinning as they speak. Morgana is with us. Asgard now sits on the throne, and the chiefs are in charge finally. But the other regions were already be scheming to dispose him. Kaya, got it, Cass. Do we stay loyal to the new king, or cut our losses and put me on the throne instead? Okay, interesting. I've not seen this one before. You can actually be a loyalist, and your goal is to actually back the current king. Never seen that as an option. B, intimidation, which is to raise stability, and C, the hornblower, which is lower faith across the kingdom. We have 9 chiefs currently. 8 chiefs. I got 4 for Aid the King. If you get 1 more Aid the King, it's locked in forever. So at least you have to put exclamation point vote B, not just B. So you got to put exclamation point vote B, and then it'll count your vote. Welcome, Semi. See, there it is. 5-1, but we only have 8 votes total. 9 currently now, so I think it's impossible to beat. So I will go ahead and lock this vote. Thank you, loyalists. I think my speech helped. Brought you to my side. Too late, Semi. All right. That settles it then. Long live the king. May he bring glory to Morgana. Thank you, loyalists. I promise, wink, that I will be a fair and balanced king, wink, and will not favor one region over another, wink. Wait, did I say the wink out loud? It was written in my speech. The Chiefs' goal is to aid the king by counteracting the other region schemes as much as they can. They will win the game if I produce an heir and complete my ambition. However, if defiance gets too high, they can still change their minds and end up in a rebellion. Okay, so I have no heir. I got the north on my side, And we got the East and the South. The East and the patricians from the South working to scheme. All right, we got our little chessboard laid out. So I can take one more law, +1 stability, which is what I want. If more than 50% of nobles vote for any one option, nobles must vote for their least favorite option, and the option with the least votes will pass. Wait, what? Nobles vote for their least favorite option, and the option with the least vote passes. So you vote. Okay, I see. You're voting opposite. Okay. Because I'm interested in stability, I'm going to actually call for unity, which is sort of the whole thing of my monarch. All right. First thing, as the king of the north, let's go to this like invitation from the east. What could it possibly be? Without a word, Conte Original Dice Mom hands you a blood red envelope. It is sealed with white wax in the shape of a skull. Inside is a beautifully written invitation to an event called the Crimson Vigil, due to take place on an autumn night later this year. Please tell me, what is this all about? I can say no more. You must choose whether to accept our invitation or to decline it. Now, in the name of unity and bringing us whole together and healing, I will attend this event, whatever it entails. No, a king can't say no. I will see you next at the vigil, Your Majesty. That's not it came in a blood red envelope with a skull stamp. I mean, some of you are just really reaching. I feel like you're just suspicious people by nature for some reason. All right, a petitioner from afar. Ooh, is this the fish people? Your Majesty, there is a petitioner here to see you today. We're not exactly sure where she's from. What does she want? You'll see soon enough. If you're the king and they're like, hey, well, you should go meet this person. And the king's like, well, what do they want? And your answer is, you'll see soon enough. I think I need to replace my chancellor. Oreed. Greetings, Your Majesty. My name is Oreed. Or Oreed? Oreed. I have a proposition for you. Where are you from? Distant shores, Your Majesty. I prefer to keep my exact origins a secret. Nah, who are you exactly? I am but a humble ship's captain, once of great renown, but that was a different time. Not a pirate then? No, Your Majesty, never would I countenance the thought. All right, what's your proposition? Ooh, Inicio. More fish people from Atlantis? No, I vowed never to lay with the fish person. But if the opportunity presented itself, no, I must hold strong to my conviction. 3 ships are docked in a harbor to the west. Their holds are packed to the gills with muskets and gunpowder, and they each boast a full battery of cannons. They are all yours in return for a small favor. Wait, what? Muskets, the small furry animals? I'm not into fish, but furry animals? No. Muskets are powerful weapons, Your Majesty. The secrets of their manufacture are known only in the Republic of Kurth. What would I do with these muskets? Outfit your armies with them, Your Majesty. They are powerful weapons enough to give you an edge over your enemies. All right, what's this favor? I only wish to stay in this kingdom with your blessing and protection. I can show your soldiers how to use the weapons, of course, to avoid any ... accidents? All right, what did you do? I don't know what you mean, Your Majesty. I simply wish to keep my dealings private. Okay, as a kingdom, It's really up to you. Also, shout out to Serendipity with a 1 gifted community sub. That was awesome. Thank you. Shout outs to you. I am going to try to call for unity on this one. And I think I need my stability. I need my stability to go up. This option actually lowers the stability. I'm just going to call for unity and hope you guys will all provide her. And I think the muskets that she is bringing in is going to be more than enough. It's worth it, right? We're going to arm our kingdom against those who can. Also, if you take a look, we got 5 military in the north, 5 military in the east, and 0 military in the south. Thank you, my nobles, for actually following my decree. And I closed it as fast as I could. That is the right of the king, because it was in my favor. Provide safe harbor for Oread in exchange for muskets. That's not going to blow back on us later, I'm sure. All right, the stability is up. The military in all regions has gone up by 2. That's pretty good. The weapons prove most useful in the coming month, and train our officers as promised. They demonstrate it by puncturing a metal breastplate at 500 yards. The council made the right decision. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong, Zaro? All right, it's time for the honor guard. I hate this ceremony, but we will go through with its motions. As is tradition, each region offers a selection of elite guards. The chiefs with their most famous warrior heroes, the counts with the Knights of the Order of the Drowned Rose, and the patricians offer their greatest gladiators, champions of the region. Unfortunately, we can't recruit the Eastern Knights. There's been a major scandal. Some of their poetry was plagiarized. Shoutouts to Cyblade with the 5 gifted sub and Rock and Roller with 5 gifted sub. Wow, you guys are awesome. Some of the best. This is just showing some of the best of our community that are willing to gift to others. Thank you guys. That's awesome. They won't come to capital until this blows over. You need to pick someone else. So I can't even pick the Eastern if I wanted to. But like, look, I'm a Northern boy. I know where my bread is buttered. I am definitely bringing the Northern Warriors in. Of course, Semi. I'm bringing the Northerners. This is a Northern boy. I want to be protected by the people I can trust the most. Washable markers with the 100 bits. I forgot about bits. That's awesome. Thank you for that. The warrior heroes arrive a few weeks later. They swagger in with big grins and bigger axes, belching and singing and roaring out unsavory jokes. One of my courtiers faints. By the way, whatever happened to my farting husband? Is he still in jail? All right, it's time for our auction. So each of you guys have a personal wealth, which you can see in the you can see your wealth in the overlay on Twitch, or you can see your wealth here on this screen. You guys get to vote on which 2 projects we should build in the kingdom. So the Chief's Fortress ups the military, the Thieves Guild lowers trade, right? The Council Monument ups the authority, and the prison lowers stability, and then the Grand Bazaar ups trade, and the stadium lowers military. You guys all know what your goals are as regions. So you guys get to spend your own personal wealth to advance your schemes. Lowering stability is good for... raising authority is good for the count. So count C makes sense from the count's perspective, right? Because you guys want authority to go up. I want stability to go up, which means that also blue wants stability to go up. So D is bad for those 2 things. And the Oh, the conspiracy wants the treasury lowered. It doesn't look like any of these directly affect the treasury. Our currently leading one is the monument, which raises authority, and the fortress, which raises military in the north. Seems like the blue's getting away with a lot here, guys. Yeah, you have to put the amount that you're willing to spend too. Blue is definitely coming out ahead on this. That closed on its own. I don't control it. So we are building a monument in C that ups authorities, which is good for... Actually, that's not good for blue. That's good for purple. And then we have the fortress, which raises the military in blue, which is good for blue. Okay. Okay. Our biggest contributors were Rock and Rolla and FAC. All right, let's move on to the next story beats. Oh, the Crimson Vigil. First, let's do a private exchange. The Kurth captain that you allowed to stay in the capital, the one who traded his weapon, she's been the cause of some concern. Nobles have complained that she has been rude and confrontational. She does not know royal etiquette after all. Worse, some suspect her of being a Kurth spy. All right, let's have a word. Very well, let's have a word. You find Orid pacing the halls far from her assigned chambers. What are you doing out of your room? Can I help? I heard you were causing some trouble. And where did you hear that? It doesn't matter. I just have a lot to ponder. I'm the king. Surely I can do something. Fine, I'll leave you to it. Stop agitating the nobles or I'll have to kick you out. Nah, I'm going to play this one nice. I'm the king. Surely I can do something. She studies you for a moment and shakes her head. I appreciate the offer, Your Majesty, but I must deal with this myself. Please excuse me. She walks away without another word, leaving you to ponder her secrets. I should put my spy master on that. If my spy master can't even tell what she's up to, that's not great. All right, let's find a spouse. I am the peacekeepers. Thank you. I like being the peacekeeper. All right. Your Majesty, it's important you find a spouse sooner rather than later. I'll take the liberty of finding eligible candidates. What is your preference, men, women? Well, last time I said any is preferable. This time, Asgal wants to make an heir, wants to take us back to stability, wants to be as traditional as possible. This time we're going to say women specifically. So all regions send your best women forth. I'm tired of farting men in my bedroom. Thank you, Your Majesty. I'll send out messengers to the most influential noble families in the kingdom. Let's see what they have to offer. Thunderdust. Wait, didn't you send your son last time? It's an easy enough decision. You'll marry into the chiefs as we agreed before you took the throne. Right? Honestly, as the best play is probably not to marry into the north, but we'll see. All right, let's go to this. Let's go to these Crispal. I think you can double vote actually, but it didn't say you were the biggest spender, so I think you're good, Rainster. All right, the Crimson Vigil takes place in a bleak castle atop an eastern hill, like a vampire's castle almost. Your journey takes weeks, and your baggage train keeps getting stuck in bogs. Guests at the Crimson Vigil compete on who can dress in the most ghoulish and frightening costume. What did I dress as? Well, so let's just put this in perspective. If I dress as a dragon with gem-studded wings and a golden tail, it's half the kingdom's treasury. Half the demon's treasury on a costume to one ball. A ghost in tattered clothing, drapes with clanking chains. I don't like that image for a king. I'm not going for half the treasury. I will, for clock tower purposes and for, hedging my best person, I will go as a demon. Right? If you're in clock tower, how do you not go for a demon, right? The red dye makes your skin itch and your hoof-like shoes are difficult to move around in, but you strike a startling figure. As you're assessing your appearance, Conte Original Dice Mom sweeps in, dressed as a living ghost. Imp, definitely imp. For those asking which demon. Welcome, welcome. I see you are dressed as one of the servants of the seventh god. How delightfully blasphemous. That was a little northern, but also, I didn't mean to dress as the seventh god. Please remember to stay in the upper levels. The dungeons are out of bounds. Suspicious? In the ballroom, you'll find the Count's gatherers all dressed up as frightful monsters. Wolfmen, pumpkin heads, witches. Which, another clock tower reference. Wolfmen, lycanthropes. A waiter glides past holding a tray of canapes, butler. And a pianist plays a mournful tune. The Crimson Vigil begins at midnight. What role will you take? A mourner? Or are you willing to betray a hound of the betrayer? Can you tell me more about these roles? Surely you are familiar with our customs, Your Majesty. If you are unsure, you should stick to being a mourner. Do you not have a more prestigious role you can offer me? The most prestigious role is the King in Exile, but that is usually reserved only for counts who have been attending the vigils for many years. Okay. Part of me wants you to just play the King in Exile because it sounds fun. The safe option is Mourner, or I just go for a Hound of the Betrayer. I'm overthinking this. We're going with the obvious. So, yeah, we're going to be exiling Townsfolk. Do I want to play a Mourner? I don't know the traditions. And they say if you don't know the traditions to play a Mourner. As somebody who's dedicated to a stable reign, I don't want to shake the boat too much. I'm just going to play a Mourner. I'm sorry. I really wanted to click Hound. Your ceremonial role is to stand among the other mourners and wait for the hounds to catch the King in Exile. After that, just follow what the other mourners do. There is no generic townsfolk role in Clock Tower Rodzos. That's what makes Clock Tower so cool. The counts gather after Conte Original Dice Mom delivers a short speech about remembering the old ways. Yeah, remember the old ways. Although I think your old ways and my old ways might be different ways. A flaming crown is placed upon their head. I will be playing the King in Exile this evening. The hounds of the betrayer will try to catch me, but fear not. I am swift as a falling star and old as the hill. Original Dice Mom runs down the corridor, flames licking behind them, pursued by a dozen counts in monstrous costumes. It's a bizarre sight. I am not slipping away. I am waiting. Wait for it. Half an hour later, Original Dice Mom is dragged back, their crowns still smoldering. One by one, the other mourners drop to their knees in a posture of worship. Bow before the King in Exile, which will lower my authority and defiance, or refuse to bow. You know what's interesting is that the counts want my authority to stay up, right? And yet this option, they're putting me in a position to lower the authority, which kind of keeps my kingdom in mounts, and it lowers their defiance, which, okay. I drop to my knees, and the count smirks at the fact that their king has knelt. The ceremony concludes with a mock execution and a bottle of red wine spilled over Original Dice Mom's heads. Defiance goes down, authority goes down. That's a double blow to the counts. Even though it's their scheme, that's kind of silly. After that, the music is more cheerful. The counts dance and chat long into the night. At dawn, you board your carriage and begin the long journey back to the capital. Luckily, I, as a king, am not a proud man and not really worried about like being hugely authoritative respect. I just want to stabilize everyone. That's the end of the season. All right. I agree, Kai. Why does your storyline give you the option to work against you? Technically speaking, I imagine that the counts as the whole region is different from the conspirators within the counts. So the counts as a region probably want to go along with what's happening. But those of you who are like kind of manipulating behind the scenes to do this sorcery play, those ones probably don't want it to happen. So it's kind of a push and pull. But Dice Mom is part of the conspiracy, so I don't know. All right, in the east, Conte Kaisalis stands on the ramparts of their castle watching a flock of bats pass before the moon. Any luck finding a wizard to aid our cause? No, I'm afraid not. Yes. King Asgol is weak and the wizards are satisfied that they needn't worry about royal meddling in their affairs. Blood and stars. We must try harder. Your authority, you got to raise authority. I just got that under I got it just under there, right? All right. Tax time. Cruel tax raises the treasury and the wealth. Common tax raises the treasury by 100. If I keep everything the same, we go to 1,500 and nobody's upset, right? If I bribe... Oh, wow, no, that's too much. I don't want to lower the treasury. Yeah, we're going to keep safe taxes across the board. Common tax, safe, even across the board. It raises my treasury enough to make me happy. Oh, by the way, all the patricians make 500 wealth selling snake oil that they claim cure scrofula. The other nobles gain 200 wealth. So anyone that's in the patricians got 500 wealth. All right, what do we got? Famine, eligible options, and the bounty hunters. Let's go to my eligible options. I found 3 potential matches for you. Yes, yes, I know. Let's see the eligible bachelorettes. Okay. They whisk away the cloths from the first portrait. This is Odala, firstborn daughter of the northern semi-conscious clan. She's been a melancholy sort ever since she was a child, but otherwise, she's decent enough company. Aww. She spends most of her time ranging the mountaintops, hunting wolves and wyverns, and other strange northern beasts. People say she nurses a grudge, though. Against me? This is Sylvia, the eldest daughter of the Eastern Gold Chain-Flu dynasty. All right, this is my Eastern option. She's a good-looking one, eh? And not a bad word is said about her. Everyone likes her. She's lost half the family fortune in gambling halls, unfortunately, which is curious because she's obsessed with her family's legacy. And finally, from the coast, we have Clovia, the wealthy heiress to Lady Patrician Fauship Bracelet's estate. I mean, just look at her. She's gorgeous, and apparently she's got a silver tongue, too. How can you see she's gorgeous? She's wearing a mask. Her interests are typical of the coast. Money, 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 and making more of it. She's said to be led by her passions, living in the moment with no thought for her reputation. All right, what do you think? By picking a candidate, you'll anger the other regions, but gain a lifelong alliance. All right. When I was brought onto the throne from the north, I was told that I must marry from the north. But I don't know. My heart kind of longs for another. I see one person here who is definitely Definitely somebody that I feel I must pledge myself to. Odala of the North, my betrothed. I apologize because I am going with Clovia of the South. The heart wants what the heart wants, people. And any child born of our love, will still be a northern child, and I will instill northern ideals with them. I'm sorry. But listen. This is the best thing for the kingdom. Okay, this is the best thing. It's not a great betrayal. I mean, no, it's not a betrayal, okay? I am your northern alliance. We're going to marry the South. We're going to bring the South to the north and make one sort of like Sorth region. And then we will unite against the East. All right. One marriage means war. You guys are like a fickle bunch in the north. Let me put it this way. Last time I married the north, you still rebelled against me. When I married the north, it wasn't enough. So it didn't work last time. I'm trying something different. Your Majesty, these good folks are bounty hunters representing the Republic of Kurth. King Asgal, we greet you humbly. Make it quick. I have little time for mercenaries. We're searching for someone, a fugitive, you might say. Last we heard, she went by the name Oreed. What kind of fugitive? The ships under her command are property of the Republic of Kurth, as is their cargo. I am not a lying king. I am not gonna lie. I'm afraid she is under my protection, as we feared. Still, perhaps we can work out a deal? The Grand Pensionary of Kurth is offering a large bounty for the return of this woman. Are we sure that an esteemed king such as yourself would not risk drawing Kurth's ire? As proof of our goodwill, we will even allow you to keep the firearms that were stolen. Okay, now we're talking. Okay. Should the kingdom accept the bounty hunter's offer to purchase Oreed, we can hand Oreed over and get 2,000 treasury. That sounds like a lot of money to me and makes the patricians very sad. We can just refuse the bounty hunter's offer straight up, or we can pay the bounty hunters to take someone else, which lowers the treasury by 1,000, but ups our military. None of these seem that bad to me. So I'll just call for unity on this vote. No, do I want to veto anything? You know, I don't. I'm gonna let you guys decide. I think B definitely probably leads to war. I don't know that C will. So patricians are definitely going to lean into C to lower our treasury, and it really is up to the chiefs and the counts to kind of be the breaker over here, right? If we up the treasury by that much, we're definitely not making it easy on the patricians, right? It's so close. It's so close. By one vote. It carries to hand Oreed over. By one vote. That's wild. Our treasury has now jumped up to crazy amounts of money, which is good for the kingdom, right? Safe and prosperous. Not good for the patricians to put their claimant on the throne. But I've just married you, and so you're happy about that, right? The bounty hunters nod their thanks, assuring you that the Grand Pensionary herself will hear of your good deed. When Oreed is dragged from her quarters, the scowl on her face looks as though it could crack a ship's hull. Still, the hefty coin sack allays your guilt. And besides, she was a criminal. Wasn't she? Listen, My hands are clean. This was a noble decision. All right, let's deal with the famine in the north. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to our kingdom. Hello, your majesty. I've traveled all the way from the north to beg you to do something about the price of grain. I can't afford to feed my family. A day of backbreaking work isn't enough to buy a day's worth of bread. My stability just dropped 2 for no reason. She's right. It's evil alive. She's right. The grain price in the north is beyond all control. Greedy merchants rake in profit while the common folk starve. All right, we can put a cap on the price of grain, which with my authority I have 50% chance to succeed. We can subsidize grain and ensure it's sold for half its worth, which lowers the treasury, lowers stability, but ups farming. We can import grain from the east and distribute it for free, which costs a lot of money, but sends things up the other way. Or the free market will correct itself in due time. So I'm gonna just quickly veto the one that lowers stability and let you guys vote. My stability just dropped twice. I can't let it drop more. Although D actually will. I think we got the money for C. We have enough funds in this kingdom from selling off state secrets to allow everybody to prosper. Thank you for agreeing with me. The north is in your debt, your majesty. The kingdom's coffers open and a tide of free grain floods from the east to the north, putting many northern merchants out of business, but giving some counts a nice windfall. The treasuries dropped to 1850, still respectable. The east trade is up. The north trade is down. Sorry, north. But some counts wealth has increased. The grain proves sufficient to keep the peasants alive until their next harvest, which will hopefully bring better days. Farming is up in the north. Stability is civil. Okay. That's it. That's the season. Let's keep it rolling. In a dingy seaside tavern, 2 patricians of the coast meet to plot their latest scheme. Misanthrope. Lady Patrician Misanthrope. The treasury is not empty. The king won't be tempted by our loan offers. Random brain. Maybe we could arrange some kind of heist? Don't get ahead of yourself, Lord Patrician. This coup will be conducted entirely within the bounds of the law. We have our principles, after all. The patrician's aim is still to lower the treasury. Has not quite happened yet. So far, I'm keeping everyone in check, thanks to the help of the North. All right. If the nobles vote for my choice, you get 500 personal wealth. Cool. Doesn't that come from the treasury, though? Swing votes. After voting, nobles can change their mind. Or stop the count. I can stop it after 15 seconds and close the vote. I'm going to adopt swing votes and get rid of the monarch's law. In a Twitch space game, 1 vote doesn't make much. Doesn't, huh? It doesn't say it did. That's true. All right. Let's get the wedding out of the way. Your wedding to Clovia is naturally the talk of the kingdom. Nobles and peasants alike travel from across the realm to attend. For a week and a day, the capital is one giant party. It feels like you're the only one not taking part. Instead, you're getting ready for the ceremony. Soon enough, you're standing at St. Bertrand's Cathedral with Clovia at your side. Do you take this woman as your lawfully wedded wife? I do. Then I pronounce you king and wife. After the wedding, of course, there's a feast. And after the feast, a dance. Your new wife, Clovia, laps up the attention, delivering a witty speech in which she flatters you outrageously. Stability up, authority up, defiance down across the kingdom. By the time you find yourself alone with Clovia, it's past midnight and you've never felt more tired. You dance so very beautifully. It was such a wonderful day, wasn't it? I agree with her. It was a wonderful day. You endure a long conversation in which Clovia seems determined to flatter you relentlessly and agree with everything you say. Isn't that the definition of a good marriage? What could go wrong? By night's end, you still don't know who Clovia really is. Her real personality is concealed beneath hundreds of layers of etiquette. You go to your separate bedchambers, still strange. I'm married. Why do I have a separate bedchamber? Okay, we didn't connect. No, it was not a romantic connection. Those of you who are afraid that my marriage is somehow bad for this kingdom, please remember that my call at the beginning of my reign was to unite the kingdoms, and there's no better way than to reach across our realm, across our kingdom, and bring in true love. My wife, who I think her name is Clovis, but I completely forget her name in the middle of the speech and it's not on the screen, so I no longer remember. Her and I share nothing but true love. And I hope this will be a sign of the wonderful things to come. Long live the North, long live the kingdom of the Grimm dynasty. All right, let's go see what this vultures thing is all about. Greedy coastal merchants are taking advantage of cheap northern labor, Your Majesty, exploiting our natural resources and putting our trading companies out of business. Oh, I forgot. First of all, this is Zaro. Secondly, this is the North. So they should have like rough accents. And putting our trading companies out of business. They're vultures, Your Majesty, vultures. Is it? Oh, here it comes. Alarm turducken. Is it really such a problem? This is just business. Zarl's lost like half his wealth right here. All right, what should be done about the coastal merchants exploiting the North? Do we kick out the patricians and put trading companies back in northern hands? Do we buy up the coastal trading companies, which lowers the treasury almost to bankrupting proportions? Or do we say, it's just business, baby? This raises defiance, raises wealth. I can't let you bankrupt me. Is this worth using my veto? Will anyone actually back the patricians on this? I'm not risking it. I'm not risking it. I'm vetoing B. I'm not risking it. So we can either kick the patricians out and put trading companies back in northern hands, which, you know, on the one hand, my ties to the North make me feel like that's good. On my other hand, my ties to my wife makes me think maybe it's just business, baby. Would you guys have collectively bankrupted me given the chance? Maybe. Maybe. I'm getting better at balancing out. All right, we're putting trading companies back in northern hands. By the 9th! Trust me, those northern fools will run my companies into the ground. Defiance is up in the south. Alarm Turducken's wealth has gone down. As the coastal companies of the North are transferred to new ownership, lumber yards, fur traders, breweries, iron mines. Trades down in the south. Wealth is up for Zarl. It all goes to Chief Zarl. It all goes to you. It was not a fair and balanced trade. As the months pass, it becomes evident that noble patrician Alarm Turducken was wrong. The companies continue to make a nice profit, and their new owner spreads the wealth all across the north. Trickle-down economics works as proved right now in the north. Trade is up in the north, and everyone's making a little bit of money. All right, what do we have left? The finest mead. The king is not corrupt. Please execute Amanda. Wait, no, sorry. I was just hungry and speaking out of turn. We don't do that. We are not King Medieval Steve throwing people in dungeons for legitimate claims. I do apologize. Your esteemed highness, the seasons have not been kind to us in the coast. This is Patrician Sneaking Rhea. We face poor harvests and miserable farmers. I beg of you, please, your majesty, send aid. What do you people need? What people? What people? No. I am to be wed, your esteemed highness, and when that day comes, I will drink only the finest mead. But with farms in their current state, we lack the honey. I need more bees. Force the farmers of the coast to don their fancy wicker suits, and we shall all drink our fill of the honey wine. So let me get this straight. You need honey mead for your wedding. That's what's super important here. Do nothing. This is ridiculous. Pass a law that mandates beekeeping in the coast, which raises authority, or offer honey subsidies for coastal farmers, which lowers the treasury. Uh-oh. So this is going to be interesting, and I'm going to call for unity. I can't control this. Seems reasonable. We know what everyone wants, right? The patricians want to. Oh, actually, interesting. The patricians obviously want the subsidies. Wow, this one's so close. We're definitely not getting a unity call on this one. By one vote with the 877 split, the patricians have come together to offer honey subsidies for coastal farmers. You guys were all like kind of evenly split on that vote. Farming's up on the coast. The treasury's down. All that windfall we got is already spent. It is the opposite of unity, Zarl. I agree, but that's your decision. You're the nobles. The coast farmers are uncertain until you explain that apiarism? I know apiary. Apiarism actually means keeping bees. Soon the coast is abuzz. Ha ha ha, buzzed. Thank you, your esteemed highness. My wedding is sure to be a success. I hope I get an invite, Rhea. All right, let's end the season. I think my reign's going wonderful. In a dingy seaside tavern, two patricians of the coast meet to plot their latest scheme. The treasury's practically empty, and the king is struggling to fund his ambitions. We are perfectly placed to offer him a loan. So helpful of us. Indeed. These loan agreements will be as friendly as a bear trap. Absolutely loaded with hidden catches in the small print. Now, watch me work my magic. Good evening, Lady Patrician. What exactly is the purpose of this meeting? I heard about the king's recent money troubles, and I thought we could both benefit with the recent bee windfall. It seemed a no-brainer. Sign here and here. This agreement does seem very fair. Very well, I'll sign it. The king will be pleased. Good night, Lady Patrician, and may the ninths bless us. So, treasury's up by a lot. Put Misanthrope and Random Brain's wealth is down as part of this loan. See? Easy as pie, but this is not enough to bankroll the king. The rest of the kingdom must be in debt to us as well. To advance their schemes, the patricians must have the highest trade of all regions in 3 seasons. Okay. You do currently have the highest trade. Well, tied for the highest trade, I guess. All right, counts trade up. Okay, patricians want their trade up. Okay. In the east, Conte Kai Salas stands on the ramparts of their castle watching the flock of bats pass before the moons. Suddenly, the bats swirl down and begin to merge, coalescing into a black-clad figure. Suitably dramatic, I trust. Now, why did you want to meet me? If this isn't good, I'll give you a case of boil so hideous, it'll make your own mother disown you. I thought we might have a common goal. The king has been overstepping his bounds recently, hasn't he? Well, the King's Watch did order a quarantine recently. Killed off a highly unique strain that I would have enjoyed watching sweep the populace. Fine, I'll help if you take care of the bees for me. Bee callback. Did you say bees? Yes. On this plane, they're simple insects. But in the apiary, the world of dreams and magic, they're powerful and intelligent. Call themselves the dreams of being. Being. They have an innate fondness for royalty and sometimes protect monarchs from magical interference. But they won't harm the non-magical folk beyond the occasional sting. So you can deal with them. For the next stage of their scheme, counts must lower all regions combined farming to 14 or less in 4 seasons. We are currently at 15. And I still have no heir. All right. Helping Hand, Vanity Project, and the Stone Maiden. Let's check out my Vanity Project. The chief architect bustles into your office carrying an armful of parchment. Statues can be torn down. Paintings can be burned. Don't you think it's time you left a lasting mark on this kingdom? I propose we carve your majesty's visage into the side of a mountain. It will take dozens of artisans, thousands of hours, but it will ensure that you're always remembered. That does sound pleasing. I'm so glad you think so, your majesty. It'll be the talk of the kingdom and beyond. You call a vote to discuss this outrageous plan. A mountainside carved in your likeness will surely get people talking, but it'll take time and a lot of gold. Treasury down 3,000? Clovia, that's her name. Clovia, yes, of course I know my wife's name. Oh, and the nobles will fund it. Well, I'm going to just do swing votes for no reason. Don't bankrupt me. Please don't bankrupt me. Nobody wants to bankrupt me at this point. Trade up. I will say if you put trade up, it's good for the patricians. They want trade up, so D. If you don't want trade up, then we can raise defiance. It gives some of your wealth away, but it allows you to rebel against me. If you want to just completely bankrupt the kingdom, then we can add Queen Consort Clover. It seems like you guys are just saying it's an idea best forgotten. I agree. All right, is an idea best left forgotten. Thank you so much. When the results of the votes are announced, the chief architect sighs in disappointment. Oh well, I suppose I'll have to focus my work elsewhere. He decides to train up enterprising architects and builders across the kingdom, sharing his knowledge. Many of the nobles make use of this new expertise to renovate their estates. Trades up across the kingdom. Well, that's good for the patricians, so let's find a way to keep that in check just a bit. All right, helping hand. Asgal. Oh, it's my wife. Asgal, I had something I wanted to ask of you. Yes, honey, what can I do for you? As you surely know, I run a very successful jewelers guild back home in the coast. But the current laws are a little restrictive for my trade. Lots of tariffs and regulations. Yeah, you know how it is. I was hoping you could push for some changes in the council. Perhaps eliminate some of the import duties on Ateshi jewels? That's corruption, plain and simple. You want me to give the coast preferential treatment? I think it's only fair. The other regions just can't compete with us in the jewelry trade anyway. Fine. For my wife, I'll assemble the council. I need an heir and I need her happy. So, do we reduce the import tax on gemstones from Atesh, which raises trade? Do we ban the import of all Ateshi gemstones, which raises my authority, but the defiance and trade goes down, which, remember, most of you want trade down if you're not the patricians. All right, let's see, Kitty, win your vote. You might be delayed, Kitty. That's what we need to check. I'll wait and see. So Kitty voted B right now, and I see your vote did go through with about 9 seconds remaining on my thing. There might just be you might be like delayed behind the live stream. 18 people agreed. My stability goes up with my unity play coming in nice. Blue and purple united. Trade goes down, which means patricians are no longer the highest trade in the kingdom. We've dealt a swift blow to those in the south. I'm sorry, my dear. The council did not want you to be in love with me. I see they've underestimated my enemies on the council. That's unfortunate. Banning Ateshi jewels has a marked effect on the patricians' economy. Cheaper, lower quality stones are imported from Ashmead, but it's an arduous process. A number of nobles are seen clutching their old jewelry with increased paranoia as their value increases sharply. That's probably not going to help me get an heir, but I think that was good for like keeping the, like, I know the South really wants to advance their schemes, but from my perspective, keeping it in check just enough is probably right. All right. Count Kuj Aron. Is it Kuj Aaron? I always say Kuj Aron. Is it Kuja Aron? Kuj Aaron? I don't know, but Kuj Aron is how I'm saying it now. Behold, your grace. Count Kuj Aron pulls aside a tarpaulin to reveal a granite statue of Conte Jimanji. The statue is impeccably detailed, its expression a frozen grimace. A sad sight, is it not? This is not a statue, right? This is going to be like a basilisk thing. That's not a statue, is it? Astutely observed, your grace. That is all that remains of my fellow Conti. R.I.P. to Jaimanji. I see Kuja Aaron, but 3 A's look terrible. Okay, at least we finally solved the mystery. That's all that remains of my fellow Conte. So rest in peace, Jaimanji. It seems the Stone Maiden is abroad in the east. Isn't there a fairy tale about the Stone Maiden? Shout outs, because we're doing Fairy Tale Clock Tower tomorrow night. Old women scare their children with tales of her. Yes. No, the broad is the Stone Maiden. She is a walking statue with burning yellow eyes. All who meet her gaze are turned to stone. She sleeps for years at a time before waking and terrorizing the kingdom. She must have ambushed Conte Jaimanji on their latest walk in the cemetery. Please, Your Highness, we must do something. First of all, Count Jaimanji has died. But secondly, Jaimanji II has joined the council. All right. We can hire a wizard to take care of this now. My history, the history of this kingdom with wizards are that they take your money and do nothing. Because we paid the wizards to take care of the trees that came alive, which haven't been referenced since last game. So maybe they did deal it off with it off screen. We can smash this thing to rubble. We can tell everyone in the east to hide, or we can consult the fairy tales for a solution. I am sick to death of wizards. So wizards are off the table. But how do we solve this? Do we consult the fairy tales? Do we tell everyone in the east to hide? Or do we smash this thing to rubble? Our military and our authority gives us 50%. My authority is 6. That's only 50% chance. I'm assuming the 50 means percent chance. A 55% chance if we go with the fairy tales. Okay. Looks like fairy tales is easily, handily winning this. Another callback. We're doing Fairy Tale Clock Tower, so it feels apt. Somebody come up with a Stone Maiden character and post it in the Discord. What can be done to stop the Stone Maiden before she petrifies someone else? You send for an expert folklorist from Quail University. According to legend, the Stone Maiden always stays far inland, away from the shore. Perhaps there's something there. The Kingdom Challenge succeeded! We did it! That's the solution. A saline solution. She must react badly to seawater. We send a squad of knights, each armed with a blindfold and a bucket of seawater. To your great surprise, it worked. So it's just the Wicked Witch of the West. As soon as she's drenched, the Stone Maiden shrieks and flees back to her underground lair, where she falls into an immortal slumber. Stability's at 9, by the way. My reign is going great. Oh, that's the end of the season. My thoughts, I see you guys coming up with ideas. My thoughts are, when the Stone Maiden is like chosen by a good player, like it poisons them back or something like that. Like anytime they're chosen, they're poisoned. I don't know. Anyway. We need some kind of petrification mechanic. How do you petrify someone? Deep in the back rooms of the royal palace, the northern chiefs are poring over secret letters and scribbled diagrams. On the wall is a corkboard filled with pins and crisscrossed by colored string. The king didn't marry Odala, but at least he married someone. Now, oh, this is Chief LSD. Now he just needs to get on with finding an heir. It's Lars. The treasury's running so low that the treasurer met with the patricians to organize a loan. That short-sighted fool. A loan that will be stuffed with catches and small print. Then we've got to keep up our efforts. King Asgol isn't going anywhere on our watch. The chiefs must continue to aid the king by countering the other region schemes. You need to make sure I get an heir and complete my ambition. So we still need the heir. All right, auction time. Richest person in the land is Zarl, thanks to the northern schemes. Aqueduct, farming up. Library, stability up. Deer Park, farming down. Theater, authority down. Cathedral, faith up. Grand Bazaar, faith, trade up. So I'll start the auction. If I'm looking at this, patricians definitely want F, and Everyone else probably wants C. Wait. No, purple doesn't want C, right? Because C is raising. Oh, no, C lowers farming. Yeah. So purple definitely wants that. The rest of it, authority stability doesn't really seem to be in question. Nobody's really trying to undermine my authority, so. Purple wants farming down and C is farming down. C and A are currently winning. I guess A makes sense too to counteract C. But the Grand Bazaar is also good for... oh, somebody's big spender. F just shot up at the last second. Oh, somebody like went all in on F. Banjo Cazelda did 1,400 on the Grand Bazaar. That was the most that went in. 1,200 from Reynara on the Aqueduct. So farming's up, trade is up, and the counts did not get their deer park that they wanted. All right, a spot of heresy about your heir and bees. All right, we went from fish to bees. Okay, I need to know about my heir. Your marriage to Clovia is not what why is it not what I hope, by the way? I've done everything I can to appease my wife. She seldom sleeps in your bed, and over breakfast you exchange only a few frosty words before she departs to a board meeting. The last thing on your mind is procuring an heir, but the needs of the kingdom must prevail. Congratulations are in order. The royal wedding, magnificent affair, yada, yada, yada. Something's still missing. I need an heir. Yes, I know. You need someone young whose loyalty is assured. A child of your own would do the trick, even if they're a bastard, or the youngest of your many cousins. My wife and I are having this child together. Right? Aaron, if I just banned the freaking jewelry, I'd have a kid right now. The traditional method. No one will adjust to that. I'll arrange for you to take a month off from ruling so you can get down to business. I promise I won't close my eyes and think of fish people. I'll be thinking of the bees. All right, spot of heresy. Oh, egg fried cheese. You might be right. I'm also leaning into it and getting very excited on that. I'm getting more excited for this than I think I normally do. Let me check my filters real quick. I'll try to adjust it just a little bit. I don't know if it's going to make a difference. I'll turn down the volume a little bit too. I don't know. I think the problem is it will sound even worse if I don't turn down the threshold, but we'll see. All right. Chief Reynara Haroons. Your greatness, I'm stunned, outraged, and incensed. I've been summoned to trial by an inquisition on some nonsense fabricated charge. It looks like I'm already peaking just talking at a normal volume right now. I'm not even excited yet. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this. I have to fix it later. Somebody that's really good at doing like audio balancing and stuff, reach out to me on Discord because it's my weakest skill. Your greatness, I'm stunned, outraged, and incensed. I've been summoned to trial by the Inquisition on some nonsense fabricated charge. They're saying a group of church missionaries went missing near my lands. The weather's cold. Oh, I forgot about the accent. The weather's cold around here, around there. Anything could have happened to them. No one dares defend me on their own. They're too scared of the High Inquisitor. The trial is set, but the council must intervene, Your Highness. Though she remains silent, the council is keenly aware of the High Inquisitor's steely gaze from across the chamber. All right. How will the council handle the accused? We have a 90% chance to search for a witness that can defend Reynara Haroons. Stability, 90%. That's pretty good. Help the Inquisition gather evidence against Reynara, 30%, or suggest that they pray for a good outcome. I'm just gonna do swing votes. I don't really have a dog in this race, but like, I think the Reynara is probably innocent, right? Some of you want. Okay, I see, right? Because we can put. What happens if Reynara is like indicted, right? Is that good for the other regions? I don't know. It's tied. I need somebody to break the vote. And this is the one you can change for. Okay, we got it. We got the tie-breaking vote at the last second. 11 nobles voted to send a witness to defend Reynara. You distribute a proclamation among the chiefs asking for witnesses of Reynara Haroun's innocence. A northern villager eventually comes forward saying she saw the missionaries heading in the direction of the frozen lake near his estate. Indeed, they're soon found wandering aimlessly through the featureless tundra, completely lost and snowblind, but alive. With no dead missionaries, the High Inquisitor is forced to drop the charges and pay compensation, who sends you a small gift of things. Reynar's wealth goes up. Stability is at 10. Can I go higher than that? And the treasury is actually up. All right, great. Oh, I break the votes on ties? Maybe I should have just closed it when I could then. All right. Last but not least, the bees. Now, bees are central to the Count's schemes. All right. The coast. Oh, look at that. The coast has taken to beekeeping like bees to a flower. The crops are bountiful and fields are blooming. There have been festivals with much dancing and merriment. Farming's up, which is bad for the Counts. But the church is worried. The farm folk are besieged. The farm folk are besieged by nightmares, all involving bees. It made them superstitious, and they are losing faith in your esteemed highness. Wait, the coast's farms have improved beyond all measure, and there is widespread happiness like never before. But for some reason, the church wishes to burn our hives. Wait, what? It must be done. Our churches lie empty on holy days, for the peasants of the coast now worship only the harvest. They pray to their hives instead of the ninth. Your serene highness, please. The peasants have full bellies and joyful smiles. This is what the church would burn, your serene highness. Liar! My priests report that your peasants complain of night horrors and insomnia. Something evil is happening in the coast. So, if we spare the bees, farming goes up. Bad for the Counts. If we fund more bees, farming goes up, which is bad for the Counts. If we burn the hives, defiance goes up, but it doesn't say that it doesn't say that farming goes down. I don't know. I think we need more bees. But do we need spare the bees or fund more bees? Burn the hives, says the Counts. I can't believe, by the way, that burning the hives doesn't sort of lower farming, right? How does it not lower farming? I do love Amanda, the one person sparing the bees. All right. Voting has closed. We are funding more bees. The church is horrified. The farmers are overjoyed. They invest in your hive and throw festivals to celebrate. Not festivals in your name, nor in the name of the ninth god, but at least they're happy. So stability can't go higher. Faith is agnostic. Farming did go up, by the way. Oh, farming went up, but not trade. Okay, yeah. Vote B for bees. All right. Do we need more money? Our treasury is solid. I don't need. If anything, I need to lower the defiance here on the patricians because I don't need you guys rebelling. The counts have too much money? They are pretty rich. Oh, the counts sell a cursed idol to the gullible Danian merchants for 500 wealth. The other nobles gain 200 wealth. Now, I want to keep defiance down. It's true, they can't. I mean, that's true. Is that what it is? It's my stability versus their defiance is what allows them to rebel? All right, let's do some blood money. Oh, Chief Fac. Excuse me? Nothing is wrong. Absolutely nothing is wrong in the north. Really? Because you're looking at me like you swallowed a wasp, or things must have changed, or that calls... Yeah, you're looking at me like you swallowed a wasp. There's definitely not an old witch who lives at the border of my lands, and I definitely haven't been having money troubles. And most importantly, she didn't offer me a fortune in exchange for just a drop of my blood, king's blood, an offer which I absolutely didn't accept. 850 wealth. Yeah, why is it a wasp? Why not a bee? I'm confused. Ever since I didn't accept the witch's bargain, I haven't found myself obeying her every command. I definitely still rule over my estate, not her. Furthermore, she didn't forbid me from telling you any of this, and I'm not using negative statements to bypass her magic. Definitely Sarah Madness. Right, Sarah? This is definitely Sarah Madness. Let's fence the court physician. I'm starting to think you mean the opposite of what you say. Glad it's cleared. Farming goes up. Faith goes down. I'm not going to screw over counts that much. Hang on. I'm starting to think you mean the opposite of what you say. I'm definitely not an outsider. I'm definitely not. Nay, Your Highness. That's not the case. Yeah, the break in ceremony, that's the execution. Let's face the court physician. After a week confined to a cold iron box with nothing to eat but salt, the magic stops affecting Chief Fac so strongly. He's even able to talk about his ordeal directly. I always tolerated that bloody witch. She'd sell medicine to the peasants and help them find their lost sheep. I never suspected she was capable of something like this. We need to call a vote. Send a regiment to take back my stolen lands. So, we can take back Fac's land and let the witch go free. We can take back Chief's land and burn the witch at the stake, or we can let Fac suffer the consequences of his bargain. I mean, farming right here can go down pretty good here, but I don't know. You need to get it down to 14, and it's currently at 22, so that's hard. That is hard, yeah. But there's always the possibility that there's some kind of like famine or plague or something with the bees goes wrong. Seems pretty evenly vote here. Blues are on A, purples are on B's, greens are on C's, and there's a few detractors. That's going to be the power balance. All right, what do we do? We are taking back Chief's land and burning the witch at the stake. When the northern troops arrive on Chief Fac's estate, the land itself fights back. The soil opens up beneath them. Trees swipe at their horses. Military sounds succeeded. Defiance can't go lower, but they fight their way through with minimal losses. The witch tries to escape, but she's caught by sentries posted around the perimeter. That evening, the witch is burned in the town square as peasants watch in silence. Chief Fac is pathetically grateful for the return of his ancestral homes. But the fields are never again as bountiful as they were under the witch's reign. Look at that. Farming went down a little bit. Slight nudge for the counts. Let's go over to the east. What's been going on in the east since the vigil? Your Majesty, will you tell these superstitious counts to get over themselves and let us harvest the trees? We need the wood for our craftspeople. And I told you 1,000 times, Chief, that forest is thoroughly haunted. You'll damn us all if you go logging in there. Ooh, this is the opposite, right? Last time there was a haunted forest in the north that the counts wanted to mine, and now the stories can flip completely, and there's a haunted forest in the east that they're calling the north. Yeah. Don't touch my trees. It's my swamp. But she sold us a logging contract and said contract has no exclusions for this is literally the reverse of the storyline last time. Chief's wealth is decreased, Count's wealth is increased. Your greatness, the counts can't be allowed to wiggle out of their commitments. So Chiefs have a contract and may go logging 40%. Let them harvest lumber, but share the proceeds 40%. Defiance up authority down if we turn it into a joint reserve. And we fence the areas off to make sure. The last time we let them log, the trees came alive and rampaged the kingdom. Will that happen every time? I don't know. I'm just going to call for unity and set it up. Let you guys deal with it. Will this lower trade? Maybe. Right? We don't really know what happened. The Chiefs have a contract go logging. Yeah. Okay. Mental note, call for unity on a 4 vote with no clear indicator of what the best one is not the best idea. That's true, Cyblade. It might be a different demon, but it's still a demon nonetheless. All right. With solid unity behind the patricians, the Chiefs have a contract and may go logging. With the council's express permission, hundreds of northern lumberjacks rush into the haunted forest and start hacking it down. But they're woefully unprepared for what they find. Trade failed. The moment the workers cut into the ancient trees, they come alive, picking up laborers and devouring them whole. Trade is now struggling. Stability is now peaceful. Panic spreads. The chiefs withdraw from the area immediately, but the forest does not return to dormancy. Instead, the trees start marching across the east, ransacking villages along the way. Defiance up 3 in the east, farming's down in the east. That's actually pretty good. I warned you. Now we have an army of angry trees on our doorstep. Ha 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 ha. The greed of these chiefs know no bounds. I did tell you that's what happened last time. This is deja vu all over again. I paid the wizards to, the trees went from the north to the east. The wizard dealt with them and then they settled in the east and now they're going back. That's politics. I mean, the Easterners are blaming the chiefs who didn't even vote for it. But you did do the logging. Your Majesty, I wish to speak with you about the situation in the north. Too long have the Northerners been allowed to worship their heathen tree gods in brazen defiance of the 9th god. Allow me to send some of my best missionaries to the north. It's for the good of the realm. I won't hear any more of this. So if I'm actually thinking in terms of like what's best, I have an 80% chance to do this, but I'm a northern boy. I don't really believe in your gods, Archbishop, and I will not hear any more of this. Be gone with your nonsense. Long live the North. Don't say I didn't do anything for you. As he sweeps out of the room with as much dignity as he can muster, you're sure you haven't heard the last of this. All right, let's end the season. All right, at the villa, sitting on the beach outside of Sun Beach Villa, 2 patricians of the coast meet to plot their scheme. Mythanthrope again. Oh no, our profits are down. Our companies are being outcompeted by the damn counts of all people. How could this happen? The patrician's aim is to have the highest trade. It did not happen. The highest trade is currently in the count's hands. The timer set to 50 seconds. 600 treasury at the nobles. Vote. Nah, we'll leave these in place. That's true. We kind of all worship the bees in a way, right? All right. Let's do the coming harvest first before we get to the trees. Your Majesty, I must speak to you at once. The beekeepers on the coast have become emboldened. They see the kingdom's support as an endorsement of their beliefs. Pun-based beliefs. The High Inquisitor betrays no hint of emotion. They've become obsessed with bees, Your Majesty. They form their own traditions and ceremonies with honey, hooded robes, and dancing. It must be stopped. I am not going to forbid dancing. These farmers speak of death, Your Majesty, and the coming harvest. They speak of golden tongues and blood running like honey. There's nothing. This is nothing more than a cult. Cult leader, raise your hand if you'd like to join the bee cult. Yet the patricians are more than tolerating it. I think we all want to join the bee cult, right? Hands up for the bee cult. I'm in. Yeah, exactly. Nay, this isn't a cult. It's merely quaint rural traditions, and they are making some divine honey. All right, should we demand the cultists abandon their hives and resume attending church with 50% success? Do we send in the military to burn the hives, or is this no business of the council, which lowers the stability, authority, and faith and raises farming? I think we all know. Oh my God. So as a ruler, C is terrible for the kingdom. But we're all on the side of the bees, right? We all want bees. How do you not? We don't want to burn the hives. We have a bee religion starting here. A will likely fail, which is funny, but probably not good for the stability of things. Oh, I do hate this though. I do hate this. At least I can use my unity to like sort of balance out the stability loss a little bit. Not your business. This is an attack on the church on the 9th. Great. Stability's up. She storms from the council hall, fist clenched. A few days later, you hear that the Inquisitors are traveling up and down the realm, accusing you and the Council of Heresy. Stability down. Authority down. Counts are so close to rebelling. Meanwhile, the beekeeping cult in the coast flourishes. Churches stand empty. Holy books are burned. Peasants kneel from their hives praying for honey. Faith is 0, but farming is up to 10. For once, the events favor the king and not... It's kind of a cult now, yeah. All right, the trees are attacking. Let's deal with the trees. Your Grace, ever since those bird brains chiefs tried to cut down our ancient grove, the trees have been rampaging across the east. You just said the forest was haunted. Lots of forests are haunted. You should have said composed of ancient cursed trees that swallow people whole. That grove is older than the kingdom itself. It's no wonder that it held such power. Please, Your Majesty, assemble the council. We will have to appease the trees. Do we set fire to the east, lowering stability and lowering farming? Do we search for a wizard to destroy the trees? We tried that before. I was killed before it resolved. Do we bring in the northern soldiers to help fight? Or the counts can deal with it? So I will say, I don't want the counts to deal with this alone. I'll leave the rest up to you. I don't like A personally because my goal is stability, but I've been pretty stable. I think I could take a stability hit if it came down to it. It also, we can throw a bone to the counts by letting them lower their farming a little bit. But it looks like the patricians and the loyalists, the patricians and the chiefs are kind of allied here to bring in, like, to have their idea. Unless we can get a few people to defect and vote for A. Just barely nudging out. We're sending an army. By the old gods, will show these soft counts how to cut down a few trees. Legions of northern soldiers, lumberjacks, and rangers armed with woodcutting axes and torches are sent to the front lines. Oh, it failed! It failed, you guys! We had like an 85% chance, didn't we? But strength of arms is not enough to defeat these abominations. Their bark hardened over centuries. Once the professional soldiers flee, the peasants' levies aren't far behind. Military dropped 2 in the chiefs and 1 in the east. Oof. The trees finally ravage the east. Peasants and nobles alike are carried off to await some unknown grisly fate. Defiance is up in the east. We can probably rebel now. Stability is steady. It's 7. Farming is down 3 in the east. Count Mandalorian Caldi has died, and Mandalorian Caldi II has joined the council. Scouts report a fresh ring of saplings surrounding the boundaries of the grove. Saplings with terrifying screaming faces. It seems the trees are replenishing falling comrades with the souls of your people. Entry to the sapling grove is forbidden under penalty of death, irrespective of profession or social status. You can only hope your descendants will respect the warning signs in the years to come. We failed an 85%. Wait a minute. Are my nobles discussing openly a military coup? Don't blame the king. Okay, since you see that they're openly planning a rebellion, I think you guys should openly plan to squash that rebellion. Apparently, something has escaped from the cellars of Count Bensei's castle. I've asked for an eyewitness report from a local. Hello, Your Majesty. It was a right unholy sight. A monster stitched together from parts dug up from the village cemetery. I recognize my Aunt Edna's earlobes. I'd recognize Aunt Edna's earlobes anytime. An abomination. Bring me Count Bibi Bensei. This creature is my life's work, Your Majesty, and my son. Ooh. His escape was regrettable. Just wanted to see the village up close. Rest assured, I have chained him up far more securely in my dungeon to ensure that this won't happen again. It's Dr. Bensei now. It's too late for that, Count. You and your unholy creation must be burned. It is the only way to cleanse the world of evil. So we can burn Bensei and his monster, which will raise the defiance, but raise stability too. Burn the monster, let the Count live. Stability goes down. Or the monster may live as long as it stays in prison, which lowers everything across the board. Or we can free the monster. And what's the worst thing that happens? I'll just do swing votes because it's my last law. I would ask, please, if we do A, there's a chance that the Counts can rebel. But my stability goes up too, so maybe that's fine. You can also change your votes on this one. Keep in mind that's the special law in place. Freeing the monster is clearly winning, and honestly, we failed an 85%. What's the chance that we fail a 70% right afterwards? Voting is closed. We're freeing the monster. No, Your Grace. No, No, your grace. The boy is not ready for freedom. This will end in disaster. The council would free this unholy monstrosity and allow its twisted creator to go unpunished. What kind of message does this send? Oh, this is just the High Inquisitor. Faith is way down. You're all mad. You'll see. Doom will come to the east. Doom. That's a Doomsayer reference. Doomsayer indeed. Luckily, the High Inquisitor's prophecy proves nonsense. The stability challenge has succeeded. The so-called abomination turns out to be a gentle fellow with a green thumb and a fondness for puppies. Soon enough, he's won over the villagers who allow their children to go on piggyback rides with him. Stability is up. Very peaceful. He spends most of his times in the field growing flowers and vegetables for the community. Bensei couldn't be more proud. Farming went up, which is just bad because of his green thumb. And Defiance went down in the east as well. Perfect. The cows are just getting screwed on this farming thing. Okay, let's end the season. 1 minute ago, that guy I'm gonna skate resubscribed with Prime. Shoutouts to that guy who is actually my brother. Shoutouts, Nick. In the east, Conte Kai, Solace, and the wizard Pestia are standing atop her grim windowless tower, swept by howling winds and lashed by rain. So, I noticed the kingdom is still a swarm with bees. What happened to our arrangement? Please, just give me a few more months. By the blood of the dead, I won't let you down. You better not, unless you want leprosy. The Count's aim is to lower all regions combined forming to 14 or less. It's at 19. Not great. It was at 15 when we started. Let's just agree to embrace the bees as a community. All right. My heir. Okay, is it happening? Your quest for an heir is finally complete. You stand before the council, holding a small child in your arms. Should I die, I ask that my crown be passed down to... The council is filled with nervous silence. My daughter. The assembled nobles break out into polite applause. By designated an heir, you cemented the stability of the kingdom. It's egg fried cheese. Your Serene Highness, may I be the first to congratulate you on the birth of your daughter. What is her name? Keith is better than Asgall II. It didn't even give me a choice. It just does Asgall II. Okay, well. Marvelous, your Serene Highness. I'm sure little Asgall II will grow up to be a chip off the old block. Congratulations on finding an heir. Now I just need to fulfill my ambition to win the game. I think I might do it. The North rules, and we might actually do it. All right. Let's do a taxing issue. I agree, Egg Fried Cheese. We should definitely be choosing a name. In some ways, like naming your son after yourself or your heir after yourself makes sense. But in this case, it feels like it'd be more fun to let somebody in chat. It should be like a vote on the kid's name, right? All right, Your Majesty, help Chief Evil Alive of the North has been... Help us! Chief Evil Alive of the North has been bleeding us dry, is this? Not literally, I hope. No, I'm making use of a common idiom, Your Majesty. Our taxes are 10 times higher than they've ever been. I can't afford to feed me cows. It's true, Your Majesty. Chief Evil Alive has been taxing his peasants at least twice as much as the next highest noble. It's been a hard year, Your Highness. I barely have any gold in my vault. I'm just doing what I can to stay afloat. You're clearly having a hard time. Right? You're clearly having a hard time. I'll let you off easy. The gods are good. I'm relieved you saw sense, your majesty. But think of me cows, your honors. Think of me cows. So I see somebody just said that helps the counts. So alarm turducken. Yes, but it makes the counts defiance is pretty high. It keeps them maybe wavering whether they want to overthrow or go for their goals, right? But think of me cows, your honors. Think of me cows. Over the next few months, Chief Evil Alive becomes rich once again by jacking up his taxes. Chief's wealth is increased. The fines can't go lower. Soon enough, the farms of the north are destitute. Only the chiefs are, the cattle are starving, so are the peasants. Only the chiefs are fat and wealthy. Farming goes down to 1 in the north. Still not enough, but it keeps the counts. The counts now have, you know what I mean? Like the counts are kind of have an opening, which I find interesting. Huge farming drop. That was way, okay, let's be clear. That was a way bigger farming drop than I thought it was going to be, but I'm still happy with the outcome. Because I'm a North loyalist. What am I going to do? The elderly Lady Patrician Demetria, a cousin many times removed of Lord Patrician Granahan, died in her sleep last week. She was nearly 90, would you believe? And why are you telling me this? She was very wealthy, your majesty. But she could have spent more time on her accounts. She died without a will, and the nobles are scrabbling for her estate. Lady Patrician Demetria was my relative. I wrote to her at least once a year. Of course the estate should be mine. My late great-great-grandfather used to play backgammon with her. He swore she intended to leave it to our family. By the 9th, that's a pitiful claim. All right, do we give the estate to Lord Patricia Ganahan? Defiance up and down, wealth up and down, treasury up. Do we give it to the Count Washable Markers? Do we redistribute the state amongst the coastal peasants? They want trade up, remind you, they want trade up. Do we claim the estate for the treasury? Defiance goes up, but the treasury goes up as well. I'll just allow swing votes. Don't allow C. As a king, I please ask not to allow C to go through. C potentially advances the patrician schemes, and I am so close to having like a nice ending to my reign. Now, if you, I see, purple's like, no, we're gonna ally with them. You can change your votes if you wish. I'm closed it at just the right time. If we're being honest, like Steve kind of wanted C to pass. I think it would have been more interesting if C passed, but B's better for my reign. Lord Patrician Ganahan shakes his head, muttering with his friends about favoritism in the council. My heritage says Ganahan. But Count Washable Markers and the other counts are delighted. They even send you and the treasurer a gift basket as a token. Washable Markers' wealth goes up, treasury's up, defiance down in the east. All right, let's do the auction. You all have your wealth. Our Washable Markers is the most rich with 30%. So Observatory, Faith down, Thieves Guild trade down, which is probably, that doesn't really affect patricians. Deer Park farming down, Monument Authority up, Grand Bazaar trade up, Stadium military down. So like patricians basically want E. The counts definitely want C. And the chiefs want neither of those because they want to keep me in power, right? They probably want my authority up. I don't actually know. Yes, you can fund any of these projects you want. So even if you're blue, you don't have to vote on blue because sometimes you want to fund projects in other regions to affect it. So you can vote on any of the projects you want, I believe. I think these get placed in blue and affect blue stats, but they can be funded by any of the nobles, is my understanding of how this works. We got 3799 here and 3800 here. These are neck and neck, just like I thought. Blue would have to prop up a third party. It looks like Monument and Observatory are kind of getting split, so you guys would want to combine your funding into one spot if you'd like to beat it. All right, the Deer Park is built. Farming goes down. Ebel Kitty Rainstar with the top contributor, and Anicio 1400 to the trade up. Oh my God, patricians have done it. They've completed their goal. They're currently the highest trade, but it might not matter. My stability is 10. It's rock solid. At the start of your reign, you said you wanted to be a peacekeeper. You succeeded on that front. The kingdom is peaceful, and you're renowned for your mercy and wisdom. Well done, your majesty. We just had like a power surge here. I don't think my internet went out, luckily. But to shut down your nobles scheming for good, we need to build on that reputation. Your advisors have some ideas. The common folk are a sleeping giant that even the nobles are afraid to wake. If you become beloved by the peasants, the nobles won't dare overthrow you for fear of revolution. My advice, on the other hand, would be to infiltrate each region with loyal spies, defeat their schemes with schemes of our own. But the chances are, so I can do stability and trade, or I can do stability and farming. Well, I'm definitely doing stability and trade. A wise decision, your majesty. I'll begin recruiting spies. We'll send them across the kingdom in the guise of traveling bards. I need to raise stability and trade as much as you could, and it can't be over. But so does that mean that we're just like barely, like I thought this was gonna be it. I thought my reign was secured, but apparently there's more. Your majesty, this year we'll be holding the winter feast in my clan hall. It would be an honor if you could attend. I look forward to it. Yeah, of course. Ha! We're looking forward to you having your back in the north where you belong. Jaymanji, I appreciate you worrying about me, but I gotta go. I went to the east. I gotta go to the north. Grim tidings, your highness. Gold chain flew. Grim tidings, your highness. A meddling wizard has set up shop in Chensk. I believe it is Brist, the Lord of the Bells. Oh, he's back. Why is this a problem? How many stages, Benson? Because we are like 2 hours in, and how long is the game supposed to last? They put out a call for new apprentices, which is a rare event. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for many. Droves of unwashed, glory-seeking lowborn from all over the East are lining up for their... Yeah, even though it happened last game. Not just peasants, Amanda Panoptes have also decided to apply. The competition will be fierce, but those workers are no match. I will be the most powerful noble this council has ever seen. You couldn't put on your clothes if it wasn't for your servant's help. We can't let this go ahead. To have a potential visit on the council would present a clear and dangerous conflict of interest. Let's assemble the council. Should we let Amanda become his apprentice? Should we require her to forfeit her noble title in order to become an apprentice, which gives us a lot of gold? Or shall we defy her from traveling to Chesk? I got it. And it just becomes true. I don't know that this really seems to affect our direct goals, other than Defiance up in the counts could, in theory, like, see, is the only real bad option for our reign, right? I should have done, well, no, yeah. All right, voting is closed. Amanda is going to allow to become an apprentice. Defiance is up in the rest of the regions down in the coast. By the blood of the dead, how will she keep up with her noble duties if she's spending all of her time in the east with this wizard? And what if, the ninth preserve us, she actually passes her apprenticeship? There's never been a wizard on the council before. It might liven things up around here. We don't know. You've got nothing to fear from me, your serene highness. I'll always have the kingdom interests at heart, even as a wizard. Okay, she's journeying to the east. Farming is down. Uh-oh. Farming's down and trade is up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I didn't foresee that coming. In the east, Conte Kai Solace and the wizard Pestia are standing atop her grim windowless tower. You've done an adequate job destroying the bees. I suppose I won't give you leprosy. My thanks, great wizard. Now shall we discuss how to overthrow this troublesome king? All right, if you are in the counts, you get to vote your last goal. Do you raise trade? Oh shit. Or do you raise stability? Oh no. Oh no. I think you should vote A because I definitely don't have 10 stability already. I take it back. I want to go back to when I thought it'd be interesting to help the counts and rescind that. 10-0. Oh, not even close. Okay, so if you guys can raise stability, far away that can be done. I will steal the king away through the apiary where the distance works differently. But the apiary is a land of dreams and in times of turbulence nightmares, and must be peaceful if I navigate it very far. That can be done. We'll make sure the kingdom is as peaceful as a sleeping lamb and everybody is dreaming pleasant dreams. On the final stage, the counts must keep stability at 10 for one full season without starting a rebellion. This is going so well. All right, well, we're cruel taxing the counts for sure. I don't need money. Oh crap. I need money a little bit. No, I'm gonna bribe them. And then we're gonna cruel tax the patricians. Okay. They can't spend stuff, but I also need their defiance to go down because the counts oh yeah. Well, you guys are rich in the south. You can afford it. You can afford it. All goes according to plan, Your Majesty. Let me show you. Your spy master takes you through a secret passage in your own private office. You emerge into a hidden chamber where a number of hooded figures are waiting. These are my agents. They can blend into a crowd as effortlessly as they can slip a knife between a traitor's rib. Why didn't I know about this chamber? Don't worry about it. The palace is riddled with secret passages and hidden rooms. I'll keep track of them for you. Soon our spies will infiltrate the court of all the nobles on your council disguised as traveling bards. One of the spies tosses her cloak aside, revealing a lute and the colorful costume of a troubadour. With charm and flattery, they'll worm their way into your nobles' hearts and minds. They will have a spy network the lights of which the world has never seen. Can they give us a song? The few notes are plucked on the lute. The spies launch into a ballad. It's actually not bad. My toe is tapping. If you think that this is good, you should see them throw a knife. Cut a rope at 31st. This should put a stop to their foolish schemes. And it will keep the kingdom stable for the rest of my reign. Blackmail is a small price to pay. A week later, the spy master arrives in my office with a tiny scroll, small as a cherry stem, clutched between two fingertips. There was a message from one of the agents on the field, Your Majesty. I sent her to Conte Cervello's castle. Iudex Cervello's castle, disguised as a bard. Wonderful news. Don't get too excited. This is only the first step. 50% chance to succeed from trade. Failed. The spy master studies the scroll for a moment, then sighs and holds it over a candle flame. It vanishes into a puff of cinders. She's turned away at the gates. There's no money for entertainers at the moment and little reason to celebrate with song and dance. I suspect it's the same all over the kingdom. We'll try again in a few months. To improve your chance of victory, focus on increasing the stability and trade as much as possible in the next 2 seasons. All right, what about down here? A city in flames. Your Serene Highness. There's been a terrible fire. This is Patrician Rodzos. Terrible fire in the city of Armin's Pearl. While where there once was buildings, there's now a field of smoldering ash. Dozens of laborers have died. Cow kicked over a lantern, your august majesty. Some milkmaid was burning the midnight oil, and she must have unexpectedly cold hands. Well, I'm sorry to hear that your city's gone up in flames. I was hoping the council might unlock some funds from the treasury so we could rebuild. Rebuild the city exactly as it was, costs 1,500. Rebuild in stone rather than wood takes 3,000. Offer no help. Or authority up, farming down to put. So I will veto this. We're not bankrupting. We're not bankrupting our city. That's all I know. Offer no help. Lower stability, which is good to stop the counts from succeeding. Thank you, Mixicotl, for actually voting against your own interests. In the interest of the kingdom, you are a treasured ally, and I respect it. Trade goes down here, which is bad for green. All right, voting is closed. We're offering no help. You guys are terrible. Patrician's wealth decreased. Defiance is up. Trade is down in the south, and stability is now peaceful. Haha! Perfect. What's the point of having a king in the first place? I have the same question. It's good. It's good for purple not winning. Yeah. It's also bad for green not winning. So for loyalists, it's great. After weeks of leading your baggage train along perilous mountain roads, you finally arrive at the snow-swept clan hall of Chief Superanago. The hall is crammed with all the chiefs of the north sitting cheek to cheek along tables, groaning under the weight of food and ale. Welcome, your majesty, to my humble hall. Take a seat and grab a drink. It is customary at winter feast to exchange gifts with the host. What did you bring? I brought a casket overflowing with sapphires to my favorite northern cousins. Defiance down, trade is up, and Superanago's wealth is up, treasury is down a little bit. After that, the feast lasts long into the night. The fires roar, the bards sing songs in the old days, and the lake of ale is consumed. A couple hours in, I am a little merry. As the winter feast draws on and the snow piles up outside the doors, the mood of the hall turns raucous. Raucous? Your memory is blotchy, but you distinctly recall leading the entire hall in a song. The chiefs roar alongside you, full-throated as you sing the battle songs of the north long into the night. Everyone scattered around the halls, groaning, nursing their hangovers. Mine isn't too bad, but the thought of the voyage home makes me wince. I bid farewell to the chiefs and begin the long journey back to the capital. Season end, we avoided accounts win. Okay, so we can do option personal. I like the ones I got in place. I'm not gonna raucous. A raucous event. So we have inappropriate magic, famous cuisine, and something that's I can't read, but we're gonna see what it is. Swan trouble. You're enjoying a quiet game of croquet with your chancellor when Count Kevin Van Duren marches across your lawn arm in a sling. Blood and stars! Look at what your foul beasts have done to me. My foul beasts? My foul beasts? My foul beasts? Yes, your majesty, don't pretend there's anything fair about those creatures. I was having a lovely stroll in my new deer park. Shout outs to the deer park. When I was ambushed by the feathery white swan of the seventh god himself, broke my arm with one blow from its wing. As a king, you own every swan in the kingdom. You're responsible for this injury. I demand justice. Technically, you do own all the swans in the kingdom, your majesty. That's been a law for at least 100 years. But I'm not sure this means you're responsible for the actions of said swans. Of course it does, you buffoon! Okay. Cash heals all wounds. 1,500 treasury goes down. That's bad. Execute defending swan. Defiance down, authority down, trade up. Remove swans from the king's ownership. Authority down, trade up, farming up. So I'm just going to veto the cash option. I already bribed the North. I'm out of money. None of these, I don't notice anything being terrible. Farming goes up if we remove swans from the king's ownership. Does that go across the board? Actually, I want farming to go up, right? I want farming up. I want trade up. So B and C are both good from my perspective. But you guys, yeah, you guys want. Voting is closed. This really isn't the king's fault. So nothing. Have you taken leave of your senses? If we don't teach this foul a lesson, other swans will be emboldened. Swan attacks will put half the council out of commission. Just you wait. Just you wait. Oh my god, I saw this little cloud thing come in and I thought something bad was happening. I thought like something was coming to attack the freaking east. I thought it was a swan. Let's go back to the south. All right, oh my god. Look at Mixicotl, a skeleton. God, your highness, help me. I've been cursed, withering away. Amanda Panopt is to blame. Okay, look, I didn't expect Braxpell to do that. Anyway, Mixicotl stole my prized Ateshi toothbrush last week. I only wanted to give her a toothache. Oh, unimaginable pain. Please, by the 9th, make it stop. Blood and stars, this cannot go unpunished, your highness. A moment later, Mixcottle's skull falls off and she collapses onto the floor in a pile. Countess Mixcottle has died, but Mixcottle II is joining the council. All right, do we force Amanda to abandon an apprenticeship? Do we hang Amanda and be done with it? Or do we do nothing? Wait, no, I don't want unity. No, swing votes. No. Oh God, I can't change it. Okay, I can. Swing votes. I don't want stability. Anyway. You're boarding soon. That's cool, Lars. I'm sorry that it took so long. I thought we'd be done before you got on your flight, but apparently there's a lot of stages to this thing. I've never hung on this long before. We're gonna hang Amanda and be done with it. All right, sorry. Rest in peace, Amanda. The council's spoken. And I won't let you. Unlimited power shall be mine. As the palace watch starts moves to arrest her, they're vaporized by a wave of magical energy. Once the dust settles, Amanda is nowhere to be seen. You literally count. You like count. The emperor them. Well, this is awkward. The counts aren't pleased that Amanda got away, but no one can say you didn't try. But look, it does say Lady Amanda has died and Amanda II has joined the council. If Amanda got away, then why did Amanda die? Huh. Maybe she didn't get away. She killed herself in the blast. All right, famous cuisine. Conte Kevin Van den Duren comes to you bearing a covered tray. They uncover it with a flourish. A local chef set up shop right outside our new deer park to spell his best special baklava dish. The hunters loved it so much, they gave up on going hunts at all. Your Grace, would you care to try some? Absolutely! That's it. I think Mandalorian called it. You're right. Didn't ask how big the room was before I cast Fireball. The layers of pastry are soaked in floral honey. It's so sweet. Bees. It's so sweet it makes your eyes water. They watch you expectantly. Yes, delicious, actually. How delightful. I'm delighted you enjoyed it. Trays of baklava are carted out and served to the assembled nobles. Many are enthusiastic, but Chief Liorjet shakes his head in disgust as he boards a plane. Dreadful. How can you bring this to us? It tastes like a musty tome. How dare you? You insult the prides of the counts. Your Highness, please have this dreadful stuff taken away at once. If they're asking me to do it, why is the council voting on this? Have at it. Have at it. Council to decide the fate of baklava. Is it going to become the national food in the East? Is it going to, are we going to hire the chef to work in the palace? Or are we going to leave baklava in the East where it belongs? Trade goes up in the East, which is good for loyalists, but bad for the South? Yeah, I think C makes sense, right? C feels like it makes sense for loyalists. You don't want trade up, but trade up is how I win. Oh, Bent, you might not be on my side. That's right. Hire the original chef to work in the palace. The nervous chef makes his way from Deer Park to become an official member of the palace staff. Treasury's up. Defiance is down. I throw a banquet after banquet. We're served baklava at breakfast, lunch, afternoon, dinner, supper, and the occasional midnight snack. The Eastern Deer Park becomes a culinary landmark with chefs and critics making pilgrimages to visit. My wife isn't impressed about eating baklava morning and night. But never mind that. More. There's a balance, right? You can have a balance between baklava everything and baklava not. So stability is not 10. Do not have the highest praise. I'm keeping everything in check. Heirs chosen. All right, let's go back to the spy network. Wait to hear the success of my fledgling spy. 70%. Success! The spy master studies the scroll for a moment and a smile creeps across his face. She's been welcomed into Count Rock and Roll's court with open arms, and it's already flattering his with fawning songs. Let's hope our other spies are just as successful. Over the next few weeks, you hear back more and more of my agents. Almost all of them have successfully wore their way into your noble's court. We must hope they maintain their cover. 100% chance. Success. A few more weeks pass. You wait anxiously for news of your spy's progress. One day, your spy master appears at your desk, your face lit by a triumphant smirk. Good news, your majesty. Our spies have uncovered some of your noble's darkest secrets. Did you know Count Rock'n'Rolla has an irrational fear of lemons? You do now. We even have a few illicit romances between the nobles and our generically attractive bards. The blackmail writes itself. This has gone better than I expected. You do enjoy the services of an excellent spy master, but we can't get complacent. We must see if our other spies are equally successful. Over the next few weeks, you spies send back more and more positive reports. Soon you've established a spy network throughout the kingdom. It's with a sense of smugness that you call your next council session. As nobles file in, you realize you know all of their secrets, their weaknesses, everything. Listen, your greatness. I was thinking, oh, it's Cyblade. Listen, your greatness. I was thinking that taxes have been awfully high lately. Why don't we hold a vote on reducing them? No. I must have misheard you. I just called a vote. Let's go, chop chop. Chief, can you come up here for a moment? I need a word in private. Chief Cyblade walks up to your throne, his face quizzical. Your spy master leans over and whispers something in his ear, and he looks suddenly horrified. By Morgana's cauldron, how did you know that? Only my mother knows about that. Sit down, Chief. If the king doesn't want to vote today, there will be no vote. Chief Sideblade returns to his seat, trembling like a leaf. This is an outrage. The vote must go ahead. Hey, care for some lemonade? Ah, leave me alone. I'll do whatever you say. Oh, that's the wrong accent, but that's fine. You know, I could get used to this. When you leave the council hall, the nobles are quiet. They know a new era has begun, an era of cooperation, or else. Your spy master meets you outside, unable to keep the sly smile off her face. We did it. This is where my reign really begins. We should start teaching little Asgall this. No, this is where my reign really begins. Indeed, your majesty. With the nobles under our thumb, we can accomplish great things. You just need to listen to my advice very carefully. That night you sleep in untroubled sleep for the first time since you first sat on the throne. No matter their grievances, the nobles will never again dare to defy you. You simply need to mention offhandedly that you know what they did last winter, or that you know where they sleep at night. It's done. Let me slide this over for a second. GG. I didn't think it was possible to win, but honestly, having a loyalist on your side is the only thing that made that possible. Okay. The monarch is victorious. The attempt to woo Pestia into the Eastern cause was doomed to failure. The wizard retreated once more from politics, but not before afflicting Conte Sky Solace with explosive hemorrhoids. Sorry, Kai. The patricians failed to turn the kingdom's debts against it, and the moment has passed. Ever practical, they set about collecting interest and hoarding wealth, waiting for the time to scheme once more. The chiefs celebrated their victory, and Asgall was venerated as a true hero of the North. But some whispered that the chiefs were losing control of their puppet as the king consolidated his power around his heir, Princess Asgall II. King Asgall ruled from the shadows, getting his way in the council with blackmail and threats. The nobles were terrified, but the peasants considered it a golden age. After 15 years of unquestioned rule, King Asgall died peacefully in bed, and the nobles let out a collective sigh. 15 years feels really short for a reign, right? All right. King Asgall, the mastermind, has won a mastermind win for the evil team, or for the monarch. The game length was 3 years and 3 months. My spouse was Clovia of the Coast, and my successor is Queen Asgall II. From the nobles, the wealthiest noble, washable markers, 5,800. And for the poorest noble, Banjo Kazzelda, who went all in on one of the votes. And for the kingdom stats at 35, stability 9, treasury 1,600. We managed to balance all the stuff pretty well, and thus brings an end to our reign. I honestly was excited to see how this went. Having a loyalist in play definitely changed the dynamics of the game a lot. I feel like the schemes were kind of like right within reach, right? Like we were kind of within reach, but not right. We kept it balanced enough. I think this was a case of the East getting a little, well, actually the East kind of came in. I feel bad for the patricians of the Coast who could not, like, literally almost had no chance to affect the trade, right? You had to get your trade up and everyone else's trade down, and the chance for that to happen was very low, especially with the loyalists helping me. There won't be loyalists in the next game. We're gonna go back to sort of a free-for-all, which is kind of fun. Hey, you call it balanced farming? The Coasties got 10, and everyone else was below 4. I mean, balanced in terms of like overall kingdom. But sometimes that's how it is, right? Like I went with the stability route, and that proved to be very easy for me. If we're being honest, though, I kind of wanted to see what happened with the sorcery angle. I kind of wanted a sorcery end. I'm glad to finally get a win under my belt. I did unlock an achievement there for winning. So getting a win as the Monarch feels okay, feels good. But getting a win feels like I kind of took it away from you guys, right? So I do enjoy watching the schemes unfold. I really want to see what happens when one of these schemes, like I want to get to an end and watch a scheme unfold and not have it end in rebellion. I do feel like that would be a real fun option to see play out. So Chiefs got to win as well. That's true. That's true. That's true. I got to keep in mind the Chiefs did win, even though it may not have been the way you wanted. And I tried to be a balanced ruler for real, but I did kind of favor the North a bit. Yes. So I think at this point, the next time we play, which will probably be in a couple of, I might keep it on an every other week schedule. I'll try to maybe alternate with Cozy, but I'm going to keep the story going. I think it's worth going for one more round at least. And then if we play one more round and we still enjoy it, we'll probably reset to new dynasty and mix in the other factions we haven't seen in play yet. I will be interested in seeing how the other factions interact as well. So shout outs to everyone. Thanks for coming along on this cozy Sunday morning King of the Castle. I hope you guys enjoy the game as much as I do. I hope you guys had fun with your little subplots and stories. It's cool to hang out. It's cool to do something a little different. I definitely enjoy it. And I think it's fun that we could kind of mix in Clock Tower related stuff with this. It would be fun if you could mix in the kingdoms each time, or just have all. I guess if you do all 5 in play, it'd be a little mixed. I honestly also think it could be fun to have like a setup on Discord where like each faction gets their own chat channel, so you guys can communicate privately in Discord with each other during the course of this, and also have like a representative for each noble house that can kind of come along and be in a voice chat with me, so we can interact with you, so you guys can sort of drive your faction's voice, right? You could be the voice of your faction. I think that could be a fun thing that can to explore. Oh, you can change your name colors to match in factions. Rodzos says, oh, it's been a long morning. That's actually a fun option too, because you can change your color to match. So Seeker Scheme would be fun. I think having like a whole section set up on our Discord to do that. So check out, if you tune in randomly just watching us, we do have a Discord. You can go to join.thegrim.gg to check out our Discord. We mostly play Blood on the Clock Tower, but we do enjoy King of the Castle and some other funness as well. I enjoy King of the Castle a lot, and I enjoy these cozy morning gameplays of it. So I'm gonna find somebody to raid. Probably raid some Clock Tower. Blood on the Clock Tower. We got 2 Blood on the Clock Tower streams, and then if we look at King of the Castle, 1 King of the Castle game. Should we raid Clock Tower? Yeah, we need a King of the Castle roll. That's true. Do we want to raid Clock Tower, or do we want to raid King of the Castle? You guys want to play more King of the Castle? Maybe we raid some Blood in the Clock Tower. All right, we're gonna raid. Oh wait, this one is not in English. I'll raid. We'll raid small Clock Tower stream. Let's get some Clock Tower love out there. All right, thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you guys tomorrow night in our stream, where we're continuing our homebrew thing. We still need a Stone Maiden idea, so if you got a Stone Maiden role that we can put in our script, post the idea in the chat. I don't know, something else going on, but anyways, we'll see you guys next time. Stay safe, stay healthy, and long live King Asgal. Long live Queen Asgal II. Bye, everyone.